For ACUSports.com, I'm Grant Boone talking some Wildcat football here. We've got head coach Ken Collums and junior defensive tackle LaMarcus Allen. ACU taking on Stephen F. Austin Saturday night in Nacogdoches, Texas. LaMarcus, let's begin with you. Last 2 years against Stephen F. Austin, really close games. ACU's been able to pull it out. Why?
Just make some plays in crunch time. It's been a tight game on both years. So these past 2 years, we've been able to make some plays down the stretch and come out with a win. So hopefully this week we can compete with them, stick to our schemes, and come out on top again.
Isn't it interesting? Last couple of weeks, you've lost close games. You look at the last 2 years against Stephen F., you win close games. Fans sometimes put so much on that final score, and that's why you're out there. It's to win the game. But the margin, isn't it really thin between winning and losing sometimes?
Yes, sir. It's a game of inches, and so, 2 points, 1 point to win is a win is a win. So that's all we're working for this week, and so trying to get our first one on the road in Nacogdoches.
When you look at Zach Conk, he's the preseason first-team all-conference quarterback, off to a good start already this year for Stephen F. Austin. Specifically, what things do you think your team, and maybe even your unit, that defensive front, will have to do to at least contain him?
We have to keep him in the pocket, force him to stay in the pocket, make some throws. When he breaks contain, that's when he's the most dangerous. He can throw on the run really well. Very good field vision, so he can make some throws. If we keep him in the pocket, I think get some pressure on him, hit him a couple times, that may can change the game and change the passing game for him.
You've been around here a long time. You know what it's like to be a Wildcat, and you've won a bunch of close games, big games for ACU. There are a lot of young guys on this team now. What kind of role do you think you have in a stretch like this when the chips aren't falling your way? Are you a verbal leader? Are you a guy that comes alongside and tries to give quiet encouragement? How do you do
it? Most of the time, I'm a little more quiet encouragement. I'll speak up if I need to, to the team. But most young guys, I try to show them how we're doing things, not to get down on, it may seem bad right now, but not to get down. You can overcome anything. And so I'm trying to show them that, bring our morale back up for the week, and that we can turn the whole season around. 3 games doesn't define the season at all, and so that's my thing.
You've talked me into it. Let's talk to your head coach here. LaMarcus is a guy you lean on heavily, isn't he?
Oh, there's no doubt. He's the centerpiece of our defense. If you don't have quality D linemen in this league, then good luck. And so. He anchors our defense, and he's a consistent guy, and we play him as much as we can. You got to get him out. You got to rotate people, or they'll run out of gas because he plays so hard and runs to the ball. So when he talks about showing people what it's supposed to look like, that's what he does. And because people can talk about it, and in times like these, people don't need talk. They need action. They need an example. So that's what LaMarcus provides.
Saturday night, you'll take on Stephen F. Austin. He mentioned Zach Conk. Zach's dad, Clint Conk, was a boss of yours when you were offensive coordinator at Central Arkansas. He was head coach. What did you learn from Clint under him? How close are the two of you still?
Well, I learned a lot of offensive football. He was back then. We were we'd throw it almost every down. We'd throw a screen. Every fourth play would be a screen. It was our idea then of slowing the rush down was throwing a screen, not running the ball. So, but I learned a lot of scheme, and we went through good times and bad times. We won a lot of games together, lost some close ones, but he is a good friend of mine, and I've got a lot of respect for him. He does a great job down there, and I'm close with that whole family. I'm close with Zach, and Zach was our ball boy, and he was a little shrimp back then, and now he's about 6'5", and he's a
jumbo shrimp now.
That's right. Yeah. So, and Zach's doing a fine job for him, and he sees the field like LaMarcus said, and you can't get out there and cut him loose because he'll start running around and running with the ball, making throws on the move. So we've got to do a really good job against him.
When your team's on offense, DeAndre Brown is such a key part. Hasn't played that much. He's only played a handful of snaps this year. Got hurt in the first series against Air Force and played sparingly. Didn't play at all last week. He has gone off against Stephen F. the last 2 years. Can you give us an update on DeAndre's progression from this injury?
Well, he'll play, and I don't know that he'll be 100%. I don't know how many guys are 100% in the game of football after you've gone through 3 games. You're gonna be beat up a little bit, but a high ankle sprain that's a big deal. And if nobody's ever, I mean, it's just an ankle. I mean, it's not that big a deal. But his
2 of them.
That's right. But his injury, it's a fact. It takes a long time, and you cannot re-aggravate it. And he re-aggravated it in game 2. So, but he'll be there. We need him to have a big game because their D-line is big. They're physical. They're good pass rushers. They do a solid job against the run, and so we can't sit back there and throw the ball every down and take a long time to throw it because they're going to hit our quarterback. So the best answer is to run the ball, and you need a productive running game in order to beat these guys.
There's only one team of the 124 playing in FCS football who've not turned the ball over through 3 games, and it's your team. But that's not a surprise, is it?
No, it's not. I mean, because if you ask LaMarcus what the number 1 rule is, he's going to say protect the ball. And because I tell those guys at some point you're going to drop into coverage or you're going to scoop, and on the way to scoring you're going to protect the ball because people are going to take shots at you. So whether you're a returner, an offensive player, a special teams guy, a defensive lineman, you're going to protect the ball. Now, last week I don't know that we protected it well enough. We put 2 balls on the ground, but we didn't turn the ball over. So that is something that we live. You can't just talk about that. You got to live it and you got to breathe it, and that's part of who we are from offense to defense to special teams.
Well, ACU and Stephen F. Austin get after it on Saturday night. It's a 6 o'clock kickoff from Homer Bryce Stadium in Nacogdoches, Texas. ACU tries to beat the Lumberjacks for a 3rd consecutive year. For LaMarcus Allen and Ken Collums, I'm Grant Boone for ACUSports.com.